So thank you guys for letting me have the opportunity to speak. So I think a lot of the women's team know that I showed up to handball because I wanted to know why the goalkeeper wore a different colored jersey, and that was literally the only reason. And I was only going to go to one practice and stop. But going in, week of welcome, first year, really scared, didn't know what I was doing. I came into handball and realized just how amazing the sport was. And so I started coming back. I was like, okay, once labs start, then I'm going to quit. All right, once midterms start, I'm going to quit. And then I realized, oh crap, I'm on the team now. So I've got to keep going. And at some point, I realized, I don't know why I love the sport so much. And a large portion of that is just Myles being there for a coach and teaching us, explaining things to us. I never felt like I had a coach. I felt like I had more of a mentor, and it was never, I've had a lot of coaches in the past where they want to yell at you if you make a single mistake, or they think tough love is the best love. But Myles has always been there to share his experience and teach and learn with you, as opposed to trying to break you into being the best player, because that honestly never works. So I just want to say thank you for giving me 4 years of awesome experience, as well as allowing me to come back and help. You're by far the best coach I've ever had. I work in Parks and Rec, and I evaluate coaches, and it's Myles is the gold standard. And I've not found another coach who coaches just as well as Myles. So I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done.
Okay, our next speaker from the Carolina Women's Team Handball Club, Amanda Witzke.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I wrote down I want to say because I get nervous and words are hard sometimes. So when I first got to UNC, I was scared of many things, but one of the things was that I wasn't going to have handball in my life anymore, and that was just scary. But when I think about handball now, about Myles, I think about all these amazing people who love handball, who support each other, and want to see each other getting better. I think about the love for the sport, and about how happy I get on Mondays and Wednesdays, and especially on Sundays. And all of these great things about handball here came to be what they are because of you. Great part. Your passion for this sport made me love it even more. Your dedication to it and to all of us made me want to invest more time and energy and love into it. And your persistence taught me that I have to persist even when things aren't working out. And all these things aren't just handball teachings, but things that we are taking to life with us. And I thank you a lot for that. You made me feel comfortable and welcome every single practice with your attempt to say oi and to the baby. And you cared whenever I complain about something hurting, which is very often. And you always had lotion when the weather was dry.
Black does not crack, but it does ash.
And you're always just sending out this message that this message that you were there for us no matter what, and we can only thank you for that. You have touched our lives in very, very special ways, and I remember my time here at Carolina with you as our coach forever. And I don't know yet who's going to help us coach next, but they got some big shoes to fill. We're going to miss you very much, and we wish you the best time in California with your family. And thank you again for all the time, love, energy, and everything that you invested in us and our team. And we're going to miss you a lot.
Okay, our next speaker from the Carolina Men's Team Handball Club.
Wait, she forgot.
Oh.
Never mind.
Fake out.
All right, we'll get it. From the Carolina Men's Team Handball Club, Alex Laws.
Hello. I'm going to try to talk loud so everybody can hear me. On behalf of the team and everybody here, I'd like to say thank you. There is no way we could ever repay you for all that you've done. He literally spent 3 days every week spending time with college kids, which to most would frighten most people. And he would always go to every away trip, drive most of the way, 13 plus hours there and back, you know, when people offer to drive. Just be a mentor on and off the court. And it's just we're so grateful for that. Not many people can say that their coach is motivational, inspirational, and determined for every single moment that they coach. But one of the best things we can say, and like all of us can probably agree to, is like when we talk about our coach to our friends, like we get to brag, like, yeah, he can still juke us out at his age, no offense. And then he can make some of the craziest shot at what appears to be a negative angle, which is so annoying against him. But so in hopes to give back for what you've done, we kind of have a little gift that if you haven't signed yet, please do by the end of the night. So we have this tradition where Myles, it's always his birthday when he's with us. So every time we go to, like, it always happens to be a Mexican restaurant that we say it's his birthday. The first time we did it, he was so shook, like he's like looking like, whose birthday is it? And they put a sombrero on his head, and he wanted to kill us all. So naturally, we thought it was hilarious, so we're gonna keep doing it, and it makes him mad every time. So that's why little quote is, it's always your birthday when you're with us, because we try to be there for you, and you're always there for us. We can never say thank you though. So thank you.
Nice.
I was not ready to see that.
Hey, before we have our next speaker, Amanda has something she wants to present to Myles.
We got this shirt for you, and everyone likes sign.
Oh,
So it's just something that you can take and wear, and I don't know. And if you didn't sign, please sign. I could get everyone.
thank you.
Nice.
Okay, from the Carolina Team Handball Men's Club, Joe Piscatelli.
All right, so I got some advice on speaking, and it basically just kind of said, you know, go up there, make 3 good points, and sit down. That's what I'm gonna do. So I've got 3 things that I really admire about Myles. The first one is how he just treats everybody. So on my first day of handball practice, we all came in and sat in the gym, and Myles gets up there and he starts pacing around. I'm like, oh man, what am I getting into? And he goes, how many of you played baseball in high school? And some of us raised our hand. How many of you played football? You know, how many of you were all state? And then at the end he was like, well, you know what? You're all handball now. So I thought that kind of stuck out to me, and it was a good representation of how he treats everybody. You know, there's no race, there's no gender, there's no ethnicity that he does not include when he's treating them the right way. And I think that's something I've come to really admire about him. The second point is how committed Myles is to everything. So he's really committed to our team, as Alex kind of touched on a little bit, and spending so much time, over the course of his time coaching, just being with us, helping us to grow, teaching us the way to play handball the right way. He's also committed to his work, as I've kind of seen, knowing him throughout the 5 years. There was times this past year where he'd be working till 4, and then he'd be at practice at 12 the next day, helping us out and making sure that we were growing. And just the last thing is just, committed to us as a team in terms of the time that he puts forward to really make sure that we grow into the people that we should be. And then my last point is that I really admire the joy and passion that Myles, instills in all of us on a daily basis. This can even be seen through his little quick quips that he made sometimes. And even Adam today was like, damn, bro, I'm gonna really miss Myles and his little sayings he's got going around. With him coaching, he not only gets us to play for ourselves, but also him. And I feel like a lot of the times when he's out there on the sideline coaching us, it makes me want to win and do as much as I can, not only for myself and the team, but also because I have Myles there right next to me. I think that this lasting effect of the instilling joy and passion in people, I think extends to not only the people that he sees every day, But you know, even the people who came to handball one time, or even someone like my parents who's met twice, still come to me and ask how Myles is doing because of the impact that he made on their lives. And then the last thing, I think that we can all agree to this, when Myles is on the court and he starts scoring and hitting those crazy shots, it's just so nice to see the whole bench and our team just erupt every single time. And I think that that really just shows the joy that he brings to us. And so Myles, you know, I appreciate you as a coach, a mentor, and a friend. And I know that you'll be successful in wherever life takes you because of these three things. Thank you for being a huge part of my college experience and giving me a lifelong friend.
Okay, our next speaker from Carolina Blue, our alumni team, is a longtime friend and roommate and compadre of Myles, Don Boynton.
You think you know what you're going to say till you stand up in front of a room full of people to talk. There's not a better person than I know than Myles. I had the singular honor of saying, like, Myles is the longest running friend that I have made as an adult. We walked onto campus at UNC on the same day. Rio. Oddly enough, wearing almost the same outfit, but the difference was I had on my Tar Heel hat, and being from Ohio, Myles had on a Buckeye hat. And we're standing there, and it's my mom, my dad, my brother, myself, and Myles, and Malik, and Micah, and Miss Edna. And we had to introduce ourselves to the person that was standing next to us. And I was Don from North Carolina, and he was Myles from Ohio. And 20 years later, we're side by side. I'm Don from North Carolina, and he's Myles from Ohio. We've gone back and forth about a lot of things. We haven't always seen eye to eye. The birthplace of flight is North Carolina, even though the Wright brothers are from Dayton.
John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, I'm just saying. Thanks for continuing.
I'll give him that, but Myles and I have shared a lot of experiences, and it's, for us, for me at least, it's been about more than handball. I would not have handball in my life if it wasn't for Myles, but there have been so many other things that I've had the opportunity to experience and that I'm truly gonna miss. Be it, you know, a late night phone call, be it those 12, 13, 15-hour handball trips, Bill Cosby comedy tapes.
Number one.
You're doing great.
Jeopardy. If y'all never played Jeopardy with Myles, you will lose. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Or even those late night consults, because you know the thing that I've learned is I view that man as more than just a friend. Like at this point in time, he's family. Like we've been through gain and loss and gain again, and there's been nobody that's been there for me like that. And I don't know if there ever will be, but I know that on the other side of the continent, I've always got a place to go, and I've got a brother from another mother that's always going to be there for me. So Myles, you know, good luck in your future endeavors. You're always fam. You always got a spot at 75, 55 Garland Highway, or wherever I might call home. I appreciate you.
Okay, our next speaker is one of our younger Carolina Blue guys. We wanted to get some representation across the ages, so to speak. So we're really happy to welcome Evan Gilbert.
These speeches kind of got me tearing up a little bit, so bear with me if I a little slow.
You gotta speak up.
Yeah,
You're emotional, you gotta speak up.
Like most of us, I never played handball before I came to college, but learn a sport when you're like 18 is a lot different than when you're like 6 or 7. Can't really, it feels weird to not be able to control your body when you're 18 years old. So it was a frustrating experience coming into handball when I was that age. And
Oh, so sweet.
there was a time that definitely wanted to quit.
You're doing great.
I've never made it to this speech without crying.
Let it go. Just let it out.
But Myles, though, it's crazy. Like, it came back. This is really embarrassing.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're doing great.
Let's go. We're good. Let's go. I got you. We're good. Let's go.
I met Myles freshman year before I started playing. I went to go see Beer at Blue Cup. And after he was done, Beer came over to all of us and said, "What's up?" And then close behind was Myles. You're tall. he went right into recruiter mode. He was like, "Hey, you're tall. You should come out. Hey, you should come out. Hey, you should come out. We practice X, Y, and Z. We practice during this time." It didn't matter. He said it to everyone. Really, everyone. A few of us ended up going to practice, and I stuck with it. He just wants everyone to experience the sport that he loves. Friends, families, co-workers, he does not care. He'll pick anyone out. Hey, what are you doing on Sunday? Are you free? Come on down to the gym. We can play some handball. I'll teach you all about it. He never gives up on his players, and he especially never gives up on the game. He'll play handball here. I'm sure he'll play handball over in California. He'd figure out a way to play handball in North Pole if he could.
All I need is a ball.
All you need is a ball. I'm very privileged to call him my coach and friend, and what I learned from him was very invaluable. And lastly, I want to thank Myles for introducing me to all these great people. I've been through a lot with some of these guys, those guys back there, and I know no matter how far away we are, a couple times a year we come together for handball tournaments. I just know I have lifelong friends with you. This was the patch from the first handball bag when I came in. So signed the bag.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's the old bag. Oh my God. Oh, that's sick. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, give it up for everyone.
Hey, Evan, that was great. But have you had any anatomy classes?
Have I had any?
Yeah, your heart is on the left side. You kept grabbing your right. Okay, we got one more from Carolina Blue. And Wade goes way back, all right? Almost to the beginning of our club. So we got Wade Sutton going to go up and share some memories.
Oh, man. Faking me out, Wade. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm probably one of the few guys in here that was playing handball before Myles got to Carolina. Go JB, I think. Anyone else? Glenn. That's it. Well, yeah. So, obviously, Myles and I don't know if anyone spent more time with Myles coaching and traveling than I have. I used to, when I coached women's, he was helping me, and now he coaches women, I help him. But we've taken so many trips to West Point and college nationals, and we've said it many times. I don't know if Myles and I would be friends if we didn't have handball. Like, why would we hang out? No lies detected. But I mean, everyone's talking about going back to college days. I have roommates, I had friends that I came here with. And I don't keep in touch with any of them. But the handball bond, it's great to see the alumni come back, the university team come back, and you get to see guys that you played in college. It still makes me feel like I'm 20, although I'm not. I know I look it. But Myles has been great. I mean, like I said, I don't know how many heart-to-hearts we've had on trips, and here's what's going on, how's this going. Myles, as everyone said, is a great person, great friend. When he told me he was moving, I couldn't believe it. We've just been together so long, doing things, coaching. But Myles is a great coach. We have very different coaching styles, but I appreciate Myles. And I told him that when I was the head coach, like one reason the women did so well, I really thought was because of the way we interplayed with each other. He is the passion. I was more of the X's and O's and do this and this. But Myles was the passion. He was a great speaker. I'm not as good at that. Like my wife tells me all the time, I need to be more touchy-feely and give her not my screen. But Myles, he was very touchy-feely.
That is so real.
We love you, man. You've been a big part of the program. I know you'll still come back if you can. This is not the end. We will look forward to having you on our wing over there. But you have done so much for the program, specifically the university kids and helping them learn. And I think back to Doc, he helped us learn and how to be good people, not just handball players. And I think everyone can say that about you. You've helped them learn to be good people. And again, not very creative. We're going to buy you something. I collected money for you to help you with your trip across the U.S. So a lot of guys and women donated. So I want to give you this, but we love you, man.
You did good. You did real good, Wade.
Okay, this isn't on the agenda, and I hope I'm not going to embarrass this person, but I'm going to ask Paul to say a few things. Paul Scruggs, he's on our blue team, and Paul and Caroline did a fantastic job of talking to different places and trying to get us the best opportunity we could, the best space we could, the best price we could to get this whole thing set up. And we all should really be appreciative of the effort he put in. And Paul and Caroline and Myles have shared brotherhood and sisterhood. So I think, I'd like to have Paul have an opportunity to say a couple of things. I hope I'm not dropping this on
him. So I wasn't planning up here. I thought that, Dom and Wade were sort of representing our generation, even though Wade might be a generation or two behind me, but everybody said it, and I can't echo enough what a great person Myles is. Like, he's a great handball coach. He's a great handball teammate, but the person aspect is the biggest thing. A lot of y'all know I teach high school, and Myles said something very small to me when I started teaching. Maybe I don't know if he thought it was small or not, but he made a comment to me about, you better teach about black folks, not just in February. And I just remember thinking, Myles is somebody that I talk to about, things I'm teaching in class, and the things kids will say, and he's by far one of the smartest people I know, and also one of the best people I know to relate anything back to something that somebody's going to understand it. A lot of you have played for him know that. He can make any analogy. So there's sometimes I'm probably talking to you I'm saying something happened in class, and I'm hoping I'm just going to dig, what's Myles going to say? Because I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I'll tell them about my track stories, basketball stories, and Myles is going to find some way that I'll be, oh yeah, that makes sense for people. So I think that's one of his greatest attributes, at least as a fellow coach, that I take away from him. That he understands obviously all sports. If you saw him on Sports Jeopardy, you know that. And I don't think nobody in this room, I don't know in this city, knows more about sports history than he does. But I love just bouncing ideas off of him and hearing how he would handle situations. because Myles has obviously a great feel for handball, but also a great feel for people. And there's a lot of coaching that is not the X's and O's, like Wade said. There's a lot of coaching that goes with how you deal with different people's personalities, and he's one of the people that I admire the most for how he treats other people and also understands other people and obviously motivates other people, as y'all heard from his speeches.
Great improvisation.
Like you planned it.
Okay, our next speaker is an adopted member of the Carolina Team Handball Club. Most of you know him as a referee, but Derek Heath, in many people's opinion, is the top male team handball player that the United States has ever had. Derek comes back all the time as a player. He came to the Blue Cup all the time. As a referee, he comes back every year and referees for our Blue Cup. And I've known Derek since he first entered into handball. I coached him in the Olympic Festival in '95 when the men's South team won the gold medal for the first time. And he was a big part of that win. He can tell you some funny stories about Olympic Festival, but it's really an honor for us to have Derek here, an Olympian and a true ambassador of handball worldwide.
First order honor. First order honor is mine to be here, and when Doc asked me to come and speak, you know, it really humbled me to be able to come in and just talk about Myles that I've known a very, very long time. I actually competed against Myles many, many times on the court. Some of my fondest memories of being with Myles is not so much when we were competing against each other, but when we were interacting and trying to solve different problems in the handball community. How to, you know, formulate ways to reach out to the young athletes of today. And we have a lot of conversations about not just strategies, but just the rhythm of handball and how handball should be played in the U.S. We have our own style of play. It's not a style that's European. It's not a style that's, you know, South American. It's really a very athletic American style of handball. And Doc could contest to this. We've had so many European coaches that have come in and tried to make us play like European players. And that's a big, big mistake. We are American handball players. We have our own style, we have our own breed, we have our own way of playing. Myles and Doc, they really understand that. And this having the opportunity to watch you grow over the years and continue to excel at coaching and playing is very difficult to be a player coach. I did it through my career. It's very hard. One of my best stories I have from Myles when he was a referee, though. We were at the Chapel Hill Cup, and very close game. I was a player, and if you knew me when I played, I never talked to the referees. Unlike some of you guys. Because I came from an era where the referee word was bond. You didn't talk to the referees, you didn't look at them, you didn't do anything. So very close game, Myles was refereeing the game, and I think we were winning by 1 goal. And I don't even know who we were playing, I just remember the situation and that had an effect on me. A gentleman was going in for a shot, and I was on the 6-meter line, and I know not to touch anybody in the 6-meter line. Everybody knows that, right? And the guy goes to shoot, and he gets ready to throw the ball, and the ball just flies out of his hand. While I'm standing next to the guy looking at the show, And guess who blows a 7-meter? Myles! So I look at Myles like, and I've never talked to the referee. I say, I just want to know what you saw. I don't want, just tell me what you saw. He say with a deep voice, it looked like to me you hit him. And I looked at him, I say, that's good enough for me. And we went on, and it took a lot of, how can I say, doing the right thing, because, you know, I was a top level athlete. And for him to blow that call on me, it took a lot of guts. Just like it's taken a lot of guts for you to move across the country, start your life all over again. I have so much respect for you. You are an ambassador of this game, and continue to move forward, and I love you so much.
Thanks, brother.
It's okay, I got your game tomorrow. So we have, you just said the godfather of Carolina handball, Mr. Doc Silva. I had the opportunity to not only be involved with him many years. He's a very close friend of mine. And just to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to him about the handball strategies and stuff like this. This is a tremendous resource that we had in our organization that I wish we could convince him to come back. But Doc Silva, thank you.
Evan, I hope I don't cry more than you did. And I don't like seeing, you know, a lot of guys in athletics cry. And every time I see it on TV, I say to my wife, what the hell is going on with these guys today? But I got to tell you, this is very emotional for, I think, a lot of us. I've known Myles a very long time. Had the pleasure of coaching him and playing with him. And his story is a really interesting one, and I want to share just a little bit of history with you. Myles came to our club in the fall of 1998, over 20 years ago. His football coach at Exeter, Mr. Bullock, had gotten tickets to team handball at the '96 Olympics. And he came back from the '96 Olympics, which Derek started. And he was talking to Myles and some of his dorm mates at Exeter, and he said, hey, this handball is really a cool game. And if any of you guys ever get a chance to play handball, you should jump on it, because it uses a lot of the athletic skills and abilities that you already have. It's running, it's throwing, it's catching, a lot of hand-eye stuff. So if you ever get the chance, check it out. Well, that chance came from Myles in the fall of 1998 when he was walking through the pit when Sports Club was recruiting people for different sports clubs at UNC. And two of our past presidents who were in the pit at that time, Matt Wilbrecht and Adam Ross, two great presidents. They've both gone on to be very successful human beings. And Myles signed up. Now, like, just about all of the best players, you know, we've had, really there's only been one or two exceptions. Myles went through the Tar Heel team handball program, team handball club. So any of you guys that are on Tar Heel, you should be very proud of the tradition that exists with that team. And to learn your skills and play against tough competition. And I know you take it on the chin sometimes as a Tar Heel club, but we'd rather have you out there playing the real game and getting that game experience, and it speeds up your whole learning process. Myles played for one semester basically on the Tar Heel, and then that next spring, you know, it was pretty obvious to me that Myles had a lot of athletic ability, great speed, great quickness. He already had a good wing shot. And we moved him up to the Carolina Team Handball Club after one semester on the Tar Heel. his impact was immediate. And again, that hasn't been the case with many players. You know, they kind of develop into the position, develop into the team. But Myles had an impact right away. But his impact wasn't just as a player, as many of the people have shared with you. His impact was as a motivator. And even as a young player on our team, I knew Myles was going to be a coach one day. Because he'd come to me, you know, ask me questions, say maybe we should try this, maybe we should try that. And we always had this thing in our huddle when I coached the team that I would say what I was going to say, and then at the end I'd say, okay, what do you guys see? Because the vision from the bench is different than the vision on the court. And what the coach sees a lot of times is good and it's objective. But when you're a player, you have a different perspective, you can feel the pressure, you can sense what might work, might not work, sometimes as good or not better than what the coach is doing. So Myles was very active, you know, early on in really wanting to coach and getting involved in coaching issues. And I appreciated that. And whenever I'd say to the guys, okay, what do you see? You know, Myles was always a very active participant in contributing to that, and contributing to our team. He played with Carolina team handball from January '99 to May 2002, and then he joined Carolina Blue Alumni in the fall of 2002, and has played with Carolina Alumni team all those years since 2002. That's pretty loyal, that's pretty dedicated. I could spend hours talking to you about Myles since we've had a 20-year relationship as teammates and as player-coach. He's made a lot of contributions to Carolina team handball. He's been a player, an officer, an outstanding president of our club. I mean, I never think, and you know this, Derek, they say you never have to tell a champion something more than once. And I remember the first time I heard that, I said, damn, you know, that's tough. That's pretty tough. You only tell someone champion something once. Derek's like that. Myles was like that. You know, he got it. So he was a great president. When he was president and I asked him to do something, it was done. I didn't have to chase him around, ask him 2 or 3 times, would you please email me back? Would you please get the... Myles was on top of it, and he was on top of the other officers. He motivated our other officers. He was an excellent president of our club. He's a loyal alumnus of our team, a Carolina Blue player, a referee. The person, when I retired from UNC faculty, the person that I asked to coach the undergraduate team. And for me, that was a big deal, as you kind of will hear in a second. You know, but I trusted the program in Myles' hands. I knew the loyalty and dedication that he had, and that he would, you know, continue to carry on our team and our program. Myles also a referee, as Derek pointed out. Well, what about Myles as a player? My father, who was a very good athlete himself back in his day, God bless you, Dad, he came to a lot of our tournaments, Blue Cup tournaments from Massachusetts, and I said, come on, Dad, come on down, get out of Boston, and, you know, you got snow, you got 25 inches of snow, it's freezing, come on down here. My father loved North Carolina, and I swear he knew more coaches and athletes here than I did. You know, he went to a lot of different events, and he socialized, and one time the women's tennis team was playing up in Harvard, and my mom and dad are sitting over there in Cambridge with Carolina tennis sweatshirts on. You know, the only 2 people rooting for Carolina. Every time he came to the Blue Cup, you know, somebody just asked me a few minutes ago, who was your favorite player? And I said, well, you know, players are like children, you know, you gotta love them all. But my father's favorite player was Myles. I swear, and I told you that right away. I said, my dad, and my dad knew athletics. And my father said to me, man, Myles, he gives you 110% every game. He never quits. It doesn't matter what the score is. You guys can be down 5 goals. That guy's still busting his butt out there. You know, that's a darn good player. And I said, yeah, I'll take 10 more like that. Myles had a lot of honors. 2000, 2001 National Team Alternate for the Pan Am and World Championships. 2001 MVP at College Nationals. 2001, you were hot in 2001. MVP of the Southeast Conference Team Handball Conference and 2001 Southeast Team Handball Conference Tournament Most Valuable Player. So he was dominating in that conference. 2012, he scored 11 goals against the national champion team, New York City Team Handball in Minneapolis. He participated in several USA Team Handball national team camps. And most importantly, for me anyway, he captained Carolina and Carolina Blue teams and made so many significant contributions on and off the court to Carolina Team Handball. What about Myles as a coach and a mentor? It was nice to hear several of our speakers say, you know, he wasn't just my coach, he was my mentor. And that's a fantastic compliment for any coach to get. He was a mentor to many of the young men and women in this room, and we should be greatly appreciative of that. He touched many of us with his love, not just for handball, but how can you deny Myles' zest and love for life? And I think that's impacted all of us. He coached the women's Carolina Team Handball Club to a three-peat at college nationals. 2009, 2010, 2011.
Assistant coach. Assistant coach.
Coached the Carolina men to second place at college nationals 2009 to 2011 and 2014. He's coached teams that have won gold medals at several tournaments, including the Miami Red Hawk, the tournament in Auburn, and the Buckeye Fall Classic just recently, 2018. He's coached over 10 men and women who have participated in the U.S. national team pool. However, Myles recently told me of all those accolades that he's had as a coach, the most important thing to him was he felt like he had an ability to unlock and inspire creativity in his players. So what's Myles' legacy? I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. Everyone leaves a mark. So I was a sophomore at UConn. I played two sports at UConn, football and baseball. My sophomore year, after a personally difficult game, and I wasn't a starter and I made a few mistakes, my mom and dad were at the game, and my father caught up with me as I was walking to the bus to take the long ride back to Stores. And he came up behind me and he patted my shoulder pads. And he said to me, "Son, everything you do has your signature on it. Everything you do leaves a mark." And Myles has definitely put his signature on Carolina Team Handball, and Myles has definitely left a mark on Carolina Team Handball. I remembered what my dad said to me every day for the rest of my life, continuing now into adulthood. If you're going to do something, do it right. If you're going to commit to something, be a finisher. The world is full of starters. The world is not full of finishers. People who commit to something, follow through, and get the job done and get it done at a high level.
Bless you.
When we started Carolina Team Handball in 1989, after I came back from the Seoul Olympics, I was so impressed with handball. I was working as a sports psychologist for our team. I wanted to bring handball to the community of Carolina, for the students, faculty, and staff, to be able to enjoy the second most popular team sport in the world. When we started out, we had nothing. We had no money, we had no goals, we had no balls, we had no tape. We weren't treated particularly well. We were given a small space in Carmichael at the end of the basketball court to practice from 10 to midnight. And we did it. We had to tape our own court. I bought balls, I bought tape, it took us an hour to tape the court for practice. If you've ever tried taping the court, you know it is not an easy thing to do with the arcs and everything. We come back for practice the next time and our tape would be all torn up. So I asked the night crew, what's going on? Why is our tape always getting torn up? And I won't tell you who, but one of the coaches kept tearing our tape up. And it wasn't Coach Smith. Kept tearing our tape up because that person's team practiced in Carmichael also. So we had to tape over and over again. The guys came in an hour before practice to help tape that court. So we didn't have anything as far as tangential material goes. But what we had was a passion and a spirit and a willingness to finish. And when I look at Myles, yeah, I do see a great coach and a great mentor, but I see the qualities that we always wanted to develop in Carolina team handball players. Self-respect, respect for others, honesty, loyalty, commitment, humane treatment of others. Myles exemplifies all these qualities that are life skills and life qualities. Yeah, we want you to be great handball players, but as many of you have said, Myles helped you become a person, a good person, maybe a better person. And that's the most important thing we would like you to take away from Carolina team handball. So yeah, Myles has left his signature. Myles has left a mark. Kind of using my dad's phraseology since he was my dad's favorite player. I had a special plaque made for Myles for our personal relationship over the years, Myles. It says Carolina Team Handball honors Myles Bacon, player, officer, coach, mentor, lifetime captain. Our guest of honor is now going to share some of his thoughts and reflections with all of us.
I don't even know where to start. And I'm sure for all of you who have been a part of my practices and such, that is a phenomenon, because I always start and keep going. Thank you all in various ways for being a part not only of my life, but a part of what I personally believe will be one of the next greatest sports in America. And it's going to take effort from people of different backgrounds, different locations, and with the same passion. As I look around this room, it's crazy, man. It's like a stir of echoes of memories that I've had over my life. I mean, I look at Glenn and Breck and Wade. These are the guys when I first started playing that knew what was going on. I was like, damn, I gotta watch that. Honestly, I thought, because Wade, it took him a little while to start passing to me. But honestly, my first couple of practices, I kept hearing everybody say, wait, and I thought it was like W-A-Y or some handball term that I didn't know. So I started going behind other people that weren't Wade and saying, wait. I wish I was making that up. Yeah, truth is, I did join Carolina Team Handball as a freshman. My freshman fall, I was really, really sweet at GoldenEye. But really. I got third place at the Hinton James Golden Knight tournament, just so you know. But I knew that wasn't going to be my Carolina, achievement and experience. When I first got to the state of North Carolina, I was almost literally butt naked to what the state was. I didn't have a lot of family here, didn't have a lot of friends here. I think I knew a grand total of maybe 4 people in the entire state. So sitting here now on the precipice of me actually leaving the state, and to see all of you here, it tears in my heart a little bit, to be honest. Because it means that letter that I wrote to myself before I got to UNC kind of came true. I was scared. I come from a high school where everybody was smart and everybody was talented and this and that. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do this at UNC? Because it's UNC. And handball was the thing that kind of helped me believe in myself. And that bled into other aspects of my life, which was awesome. Thank you all. I want to say a couple thank yous. I wrote some notes, it's not a lot. I do want to thank Doc Silva. Because without him, I probably never would have experienced handball. And that's a very real thing. I may be a professional video gamer at this point, maybe, but I definitely enjoyed my time as a semi-professional handball coach. I want to thank Wade. Wade has been so much a part of what we do. And Wade, honestly, is one of those people I've needed in my life. Kind of like a big brother in the sense of he's going to tell you what you're doing wrong, but you know that it's coming from a good place. It'd be different if he was just that guy, like a couple of people we've seen at the tournament. But everything he said and did at me, for me, with me, was based in context and love, and that rippled so heavily. Thank you to Derek and that generation, that wave, because I'm telling you, seeing some of the stuff, like God bless y'all if you ain't never seen this man play. Like, God bless y'all. I mean, he put so many things in my head that I knew I couldn't do, but damn if I wasn't gonna try. And that, I think, kind of helped me to give y'all the desire to have some creativity in what you do. And that's huge. That's huge. I'd like to thank Johnny for being so there so many times. When I first started coaching, I had ideas, but I knew I needed some help. And one day Johnny comes along, and it's been everything we've needed. Johnny started kind of around about the time that you guys, came in. And God knows the program kind of jumped after that. So thank you for your time and your effort. Good job. Thank you to our current club officers for doing so much. Thank you for our past club officers who have done so much. If you've never organized a tournament or otherwise a gathering, it's tough. And people send emails at all hours of the day, and they've got complaints, and why didn't we hear about this, and yada, 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 and all these things. So thank you guys, ladies, past and present, for taking a lot of that just in the face, neck, and throat, and helping me, to focus more on coaching than, some of the ancillary things. There was a time I almost quit, but not for reasons you think. So in Morrison Dorm back in the day, they had kind of a full court, and then they had a little warm-up court, right? And on the warm-up court, you know, I was feeling good one day because I was still about 19 years old. Still had a little bit of track and athleticism in me. And I went up, I was the king of throwing the ball up, letting it bounce, and going in pike. I loved it. Well, one day, out in Morrison, on the half court, in front of all the people who were sitting out on such a beautiful day, I went up, bounced the ball, came back, brought that thing back, was feeling great, and I front rimmed the hell out of that thing and fell immediately to my back. But, in the art of being cool, I immediately hopped up. As a result, my wrist was blown. Like, I messed my wrist up good. And so I kind of took a few practices out, you know, and thought about, you know, do I really want to be, you know, trying to bang my wrist around in this sport? Glenn Brooks hit me up in an email, and he said, it was a very short email, but basically it was like, I think you can be good at this sport, but you've got to be here to be good at it. So, you know, I really want to see you come to practice. And of course, me being embarrassed, I wasn't going to say, yeah, I blew my wrist out trying to dunk on you, whatever. But that, knowing that somebody in the team of that senior level that believed in me, a nobody from Ohio, it did something to me. And dog, if that didn't kind of propel me forward in huge ways. So thank you for that. What is life? There's so many things that everybody has to go through. Everybody has what I like to call like that styrofoam plate at a barbecue, right? You got like, you know, the little side here, and the big one with the meats, right? Well, if you translate that to issues in life, we all carry a plate. And you might look at my ribs and say, oh, I ain't nothing but some potato salad, right? We all have things. We all have stuff. And just because we come from one place doesn't mean that we can't grow to another place. My mom did a lot to sacrifice. What is sacrifice? I've heard y'all talk about some of these things that I've done, but my mom's sacrifice on my life is the reason why I'm here and have been here for so long. When I was in 6th grade, my mom wanted me to go to Catholic school instead of the public schools. Of course, you got to pay tuition. When it got cold, she had to cut the gas. So we didn't have any hot water, we didn't have any furnace. We just had some electric heaters in the house. When I was 17 and had an opportunity to work at Procter & Gamble on an internship, she drove me from Springfield an hour and 10 minutes into Cincinnati downtown every day, waited in Cincinnati, and then drove me back home every day for a summer. My mom's sacrifices for me pale in comparison to the sacrifices she had to make for my older brother, Micah. My older brother, Micah, was in a severe car accident when he was 13 months old. To kind of shorten the story, he was fussy in his car seat. Mom put him in the front seat. A guy misses his exit. Instead of continuing on the exit, decides he's going to back up. Mom smacked back right in the back of him. Micah's head went into the glove compartment, which of course in the 70s was made out of wrought steel. Spent 132 days in the hospital. Had 7 brain surgeries. And doctor said he would never walk or talk ever again. And just to be ready for that. Like a bumblebee who is not supposed to fly because of aerodynamics and such, they don't know any better, they just go. My brother Michael was a huge inspiration for me in that regard. When I play hard, when you see me go hard, when you see me kind of hit that, what's the new term, sicko mode? Trying to stay lit, hip. When you see me go into that mode, when you see me kind of get there, I'm channeling my brother. And honestly, as much as I have disliked Tyler Hansborough's game, he and I share that because we're inspired by somebody who can't. Like every time I play handball, I remember that my brother cannot. And that's huge. And I hope that with that, all of you
have gotten a piece of that. I hope that inspiration has stuck with you some. Thank you to the spouses and significant others. I know it's really awkward sometimes to be at tournaments and you don't know anybody, you don't know the rules, and it's just a weird sport where all the boys are hugging. A lot of you know I had a relationship for about 5 years, and that knowing that somebody was there for me in those situations mattered a lot. So thank you to the significance for being a part of what we do, because that matters a lot. I don't want to. How much? What are we doing on time?
We got till 10 o'clock.
Oh, Jesus, don't say that. Had a lot of great experiences in the sport when I first started. Doc and that squad from '99, they showed a lot of faith in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Y'all have seen me and Breck play for years. My very first college nationals, I scored 0 goals from the left wing.
We scored like 20.
Well, we put the ball past the goalie and the line. We just stepped on the line. But they kept passing the ball, believing in me. Keep believing in yourselves. I know some of our alums are, you're starting this adulting thing, or you're kind of getting rooted into the adulting thing. And adulting is tough. Trust me. Believe in yourself. Believe in your instincts. Believe that the things that you have been through empower you to do better things going forward. The students, undergrads, you guys are on the precipice of that. First off, enjoy not being an adult yet. College, and I think a lot of these alums and grads and older folks will tell you, college is probably one of the sweetest times of your life, period. You're there with a lot of friends, you're there with a lot of people, and when you move into your apartment and you only see the guy next door like every third day, it's a little bit different. Value, cherish, appreciate these moments because they matter. God, I'm just looking at all of you guys, like there's so many things that just popped out, and I appreciate that. I do want to address 2 guys that are here, Julian and Matt. Julian, Matt, Stefanos. We have any other international guys? Peter, thank you. International, I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. Just because, some of you have had experience in handball before. And the fact that you guys can come here to a program where it's like the Dirt Sauce special for like the first semester. It's probably like kindergarten, teaching kids and watching kids have to learn and this and that. And you guys never complained. You guys never, really acted a fool about it. And that helped me from a coaching perspective. I actually got a call from Jean-Noel on my way in here, and that's another guy, he lives in France, and you guys are the reason why I wanted to have more of an outreach and bring people in. And I'm sure everybody that's been affected by you guys could say the same, so thank you all for that. God knows. Thank you to a significant number of people. Thanks to everybody that spoke. You guys, all of you in your own ways have touched me so heavily. Thank you to Dom for being a friend of mine for this long. There aren't too many things aside from handball that I've done this long. Aside from breathing and passing gas. So, thanks for that.
What? That's a classic Myles one. There you go.
Thank you to Johnny, Ashley, Sean. Thank you to Paul and Caroline. Thank you for offering Wade. Scott's not here. Those of you who have kind of housed me over the past year as I try to figure out my life and what the next steps are. Thank you to all of you for that. Thank you to the women's teams that I've coached for believing in me. I know it's never easy to make a transition, and some of the older alums, you guys, when you came from Doc and now you're dealing with me and learning stuff, again, the transition from Wade. Thank y'all for believing in me and working with me and trying. It's a very different dynamic coaching guys and girls. But at the same time, you can still affect people with the same love, and that's, I think, what's kind of made this thing as easy as it can be. Yes, there are definitely times, and some of y'all remember when I worked on Franklin Street back in the day at East End.
Yep.
I'd work until 3 or 4 in the morning on the night of a tournament. Saturday night, I gotta go to work, and then Sunday morning, I'm back in the gym. Those days were tough. They were hard. But how better to explain to people that you want something and to get somebody to latch on to what you're trying to do than to do something like that, than to be there and be consistent. I try to be as consistent as I can. There have been times when I have not been able to. But I just hope to God that all of you, if there's anything that you take from having experienced me in my life, I hope that all of you just take a little bit of what I like to call 12 seconds. What is 12 seconds? If we all took 12 seconds to relax a bit when we get frustrated, if we all took 12 seconds to not give the dude to cut you off the middle finger, if we all took 12 seconds to sit back and just contemplate how your response affects people, if we all did that as a society, God knows how much better we'd be. Of course, this is ironic given that a lot of you follow me on Facebook. But if we can take those 12 seconds to inspire somebody else, to inspire ourselves, to educate ourselves, to know and to love, if we could do that, our lives would be all that much better. And so I kind of ask you in the modus of center wing, try it from time to time. Try it from time to time. Because people like nice people. And when people are upset, there's nothing better than smacking them in the face with a whole bunch of just love. Trust me, I've worked in restaurants and bars. It works a lot. I've been through so much with all of you. So much. It's crazy looking at like kind of waves of generations. I mean, started with these guys and Greg, and now we got Dylan and the boys, the undergrads. You guys have inspired me. In practice when I go hard and, we're in those scrimmages and I'm trying to do something filthy, I'm trying to hurt your soul. Just so you know, let's make no mistake about it. But if I can affect you to your soul, it'll make you that much better. And everybody who has played right wing over the years, where's Josh McClenny? I believe that I have at least somewhat made you a better defender, if nothing else.
Well, you learned how to flop.
Well, yeah, there's that. I really appreciate everybody for gathering here. I didn't necessarily want this to be about me, because y'all know me, I'm not like that. In fact, one of the mottos and slogans of my high school is non sibi, not for oneself. And so I really, just looking around, this isn't about me so much, this is about the program. This is about what we love to do. This program has been here for 30 years. I just happen to be here for 20 of them. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be 50 more years on the other side because of people like you who have been a part of it, who's had a great experience, who've enjoyed yourselves, and you want to give that to somebody else in time. I appreciate you in advance for your, go ahead, do what you got to do. I appreciate you in advance for what you have done and will be doing for Carolina Team Handball and the greater handball community. I never thought that I would be here in this spot talking to all these people who I've coached and loved and dealt with on various levels. I've never been more humbled to stand before a group of people. You guys all mean so very much to me. I can't even put words to it. I've been kind of fighting the mist all day. Like when we played Carolina today, it was a good game, but there was so much in that. You know, y'all giving us hell made me feel good. It made me feel like I actually did something decent as far as being a coach. You guys gave us work, and when I see you do things individually or team, you know, male, female, when I see you do stuff, it lets me know that I'm living all right. I think the one gift that you can give somebody that is irreplaceable is faith. But you're irreplaceable as well. But faith, the belief. You know, when I told my mom that I wanted to stay at UNC in Chapel Hill and coach handball, you can imagine how she took it. You know, for some of you that don't know, I went to boarding school. I was one of those kids. I got accepted to Harvard, and my mom had a dream for me of getting out of Springfield and making something of myself. And I just said, just believe that I'm doing the right thing. And until you have to pay for my rent or bail me out of jail, trust that I'm doing all right. And each of you in some way has helped me with that. Whether it's alums coming back to practice, whether it's kids showing up for tournaments, making a sacrifice on the weekend to go be somewhere, do something, whether that's fundraising at, you know, the stadia or what have you. You have all really reinforced that faith, and you believe in me, and I will always believe in all of you. Just know that. Just know that. Just know that. You always have more than a coach, mentor. You've got a brother in the sport. You've got a friend for life. And just know that wherever, whenever, if ever I can help you, I will do everything I can to help you. God, there's just so many things I want to say, man, and I'm starting to get to a loss of words, so I'm going to try to wrap it up a little bit. President John Adams once said, education has made a greater difference between man and man than nature has made between man and beast. And in some ways that is very true. But I think one of the defining characteristics of what I like to call real people, that 12 seconds, is it doesn't matter how smart you are or how smart you think you are. If you can't affect other people, you're another person on the planet. And that's fine, we're glad that you're here. But find a way to affect other people. Find a way. My mom told me one day you'd appreciate what kind of food you had for a mom. You know, when she passed in 2011, the most normal thing I could think of was, let me go to practice. And sometimes when y'all give me excuses like I can't because I'm like, yo, my mom died and I can't go to practice. That's neither here nor there. I started getting misty. I got to take it out. Know that while I don't have kids, know that while I don't have family of blood here, know that I have treated and felt that you were all woven into my soul just like any family member that I've had. I've got some family members I could quietly replace with some of those. I love them though. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, it does my heart wonders to know that so many people care about, have been affected by, and are linked to me always. And just know that if ever you're out west, you got a place to kick. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back on the East Coast, whether it's college nationals, open nationals, or THI Blue Club. But I will be back. Know that. And I'm bringing all the fun, love, bringing all the random analogies. But God knows I love each and every one of you. I do, and I always will. You know, we've shed some tears after tournaments. We've had some tough games. We've had some outstanding wins. We've had some semi-devastating losses. You guys have taught me a lot about myself in so many ways. You've helped me evolve not only as a coach, but as an adult. You know, I've had to evolve who I am and how I treat people because of you. You've taught me a ton of things. I swear, when I first met Devin, she hated me. For real. For like 2.5 years. But I realized that was, you know, if you're not in there with Devin, she'll take a second to warm. But at the end of the day, all of you, in some form or another, have really warmed my heart and my spirit. And so as I travel across the country, I will have more than, you know, some friends, you know, and some, you know, memories to think about. I know that I will only be across the continent. Yes, only. But in your soul, we're always right there. And y'all always be with me, no matter where I go, no matter what steps I take. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, before we give Myles a standing ovation, which I think he richly deserves, how about everybody raising a toast? Myles Bacon.
Yeah,
Like
Myles.
Captain Myles.
Yeah. True. You want a drink, Myles?
Hey, thank you all. God bless you. And let's go get some W's tomorrow.
All right, now we're going to play Myles.
You good now?
Couple of things real quick.